This guy was a groundbreaking athlete, very talented, and despite a rough early years, a rough upbringing, being half Japanese, half American, he basically became a trailblazer for people of Oriental, Chinese, Japanese, Korean descent. A very, very, again, talented person, very good on both sides of the ball, great on the bench and in the field, and a World Series winner with the Reds in 1976. So today we're talking about the very, very talented and the very important Mike Lum. Now, Michael Kanwai Lum, born Honolulu, October 45, is an American former pro baseball outfielder and first baseman. He played Major League Baseball for the Braves, the Reds, and the Cubs, and in the Nippon Professional Baseball League for the Yokohama Taiyo Whales. Lum became the first American of Japanese ancestry to play in MLB. He currently serves as the hitting coach with the GCL Pirates. Now, born in Honolulu to a Japanese woman and American soldier, and was adopted as a baby by a Chinese couple, Moon Luk and Winifred Lum. He became a star left-handed quarterback at President Theodore Roosevelt High School, winning the Interscholastic League of Honolulu's Back of the Year Award in '62. He attracted interest in Michigan State University and attended BYU on a football scholarship for one semester in the fall of '63 after having signed with the Braves as an amateur free agent in June. A speedy runner, Lum was converted to an outfielder in the Braves organization after having played first base in high school. He logged just a .925 fielding percentage his first pro season with the Waycross Braves Georgia-Florida League, but his defense steadily improved over his 5 seasons in the minors. Now, making his major league debut as a pinch hitter on September 12, '67 for the Braves, he singled in his first major league at bat against the Mets' Jack Fisher. With the Braves trailing 3-2 in the ninth, Lum came around to score the game-tying run of their 4-3 victory. He started the second game of September 17th doubleheader in center field and remained the team's starting center fielder over the remainder of the season. Now, with starting left fielder Rico Carty out for the '68 season with a bad case of TB, Lum platooned with Tito Francona in left, while occasionally spelling a day off for Hank Aaron in right and Felipe Alou in center. He remained a reserve with the Braves when Carty returned in '69 and reached the postseason the first time in his career as the Braves won the newly created National League West by 3 games over the Giants. Lum went 2 for 2 with a double in the '69 NLCS against the Mets, and the Mets, of course, went on to win the World Series. Now, on May 22nd, '69, with the Braves leading the Mets 12-0 in the 7th, Mike pinch hit for Hank Aaron, who was 2 for 3 with a home run, single, and a walk. Lum doubled. He was of only 3 players to ever pinch hit for Aaron. Now, Lum hit 3 home runs and drove in 5 of the 8 runs the Braves scored against the Padres on July 3rd, 1970. He finally earned a starting job in right field in '71 when Aaron was converted to a first baseman. Now, the Braves platooned Lum and the very talented Ralph Garr in right field in '72. In '73, Aaron was moved back in the outfield, and Lum began seeing most of his playing time at first. That year, he batted career-high .294, while also logging career highs in homers 16, runs batted in 82, runs scored 74, extra base hits with 48, and at-bats with 513. After 2 more seasons as a fourth outfielder and backup first baseman, Lum was acquired by the defending World Series champion Reds for Darrell Cheney on December 12, '75. Now, playing time was hard to come by for the spare parts of the Big Red Machine, which Lum was a part of. Lum saw far less playing time in Cincinnati than he was used to, as he averaged just 156 plate appearances per season in his 3 years with the Reds. In '76, he reached the postseason for the second time in his career. He logged just 1 at-bat in the '76 NLCS against the Phillies, flying out in Game 3 to end the 7th inning. He never came to bat in a World Series against the Yankees. Following the '78 season, Lum took part in the tour of Japan with the Reds. Aware that Lum was to become a free agent at the end of the season, the Cebu Lions offered him a 3-year deal worth $1 million. He declined, deciding to return to the Braves instead. Now, Lum began the 1979 season as the Braves' starting first baseman. However, star catcher Dale Murphy was moved to first base at the start of May, removing Lum from the starting lineup. Dedicated to pinch hitting duties, he led the National League with 17 safeties, as we say. He remained that role until he's released on May 1st, 81. He then signed with the Cubs shortly after on August 12th and clubbed a two-run home run off Terry Leach of the Mets for the 100th pinch hit of his career. Now, in 1,570 games, he had 877 hits, 90 home runs, 431 RBIs, with a strong 247 average and a 31.9% on-base percentage. Now, Lum batted 246 as a pinch hitter over his career, and again, the big one was hitting for Aaron. And he's one of only 6 players, again, ever to pinch hit for Aaron. Lee Mee had done so in 62 and Johnny Blanchard in 65. Johnny Briggs, Marty Perez, and Mike Hagan did it after Lum so he was a third player to ever hit for Hank Aaron. Now, Lum joined the Yokohama Teo Whales in 82 and batted 269 with 12 home runs and 46 RBIs. Following his one campaign in Japan, Hank Aaron, now the Braves minor league farm director, invited Lum to spring training in 1983 to coach with extended spring program. Following spring training, he became a coach with the Anderson Braves of the South Atlantic League. Now, when he jumped to the Chicago White Sox organization in 84, following the passing of White Sox hitting coach Terry Lau that March, Lum assisted his replacement Joe Nozick over the rest of the season. The job was given to Lum exclusively in 85. Unfortunately, he was fired at the end of the season despite the fact that Chi Sox, with 11 more games, drove in 55 more runs and had a higher batting average, 253 compared to 247 in 84. Now, he then joined the Giants in 86 as a roving instructor. The following campaign, he held the same job with the Royals. He became their major hitting coach in 88-89 before returning to the White Sox in 1990 as a minor league hitting coordinator. He was at that post through 2005. In 2006, he joined the Brewers organization as a hitting coach for the Class A South Atlantic League's West Virginia Power and was named the South Atlantic League's Coach of the Year. Now, when the Hawaii Winter League resumed play in 2006, after 8 defunct inactive seasons, Lum joined the North Shore Hanu. After just one season, he returned to Brewers organization as a minor league instructor, and of course, he later joined the Pirates organization as hitting coach for the Gulf Coast League Pirates. So, I mean, I saw Lum play. This guy had some really, really good talent. To make that Atlanta team, you had to be strong. And a forward outfielder like him, you wouldn't see too many players that would do whatever that was asked of him. Now, we're going to go over the rough stats because I think it's interesting that we talk about it. That big campaign in 73, he had 16 home runs, 82 RBIs. But in limited duty with Cincinnati, he only had 136 official at-bats. In 76, he still had 3 home runs and 20 RBIs with 22 walks. And rarely would he strike out. He had a good walk to strikeout ratio. So again, and the years at Atlanta were very interesting because he was in that, I call it the 12-55 rule. Now, if he played a full season, he would get you, Kevin Pillar numbers, 10 home runs, 45 to 60 RBIs. But this guy was very underrated, and like I said, I always thought he would end up in Montreal or Toronto, but it would have been interesting because what he forgot about hitting, some people would never even learn. He was a very, very consistent hitter at the plate. Very, very ball contact, very quick bat. And, most of the people I know didn't even know he was Japanese. Well, I mean, half Japanese. I knew he was Japanese from the start. I don't know if he received any racism back in the day because, Lum is not considered, an Oriental name for a lot of people. So there might have been confusion. But all those years in Atlanta between 67 and 75, again, he became a hometown hero there because he was that good. When you got to work with Alou and Aaron and all these key players in Atlanta, and they had talent, to make that team shows how good he was. So that's the story of Mike Lum, World Series champion with the Reds, and again a marquee player with the Braves over two sessions. If you like what we're doing here with our vintage MLB podcast, let us know in a like, comment, subscribe, or share. Bye.